In the early 19th century, at a time when women were not welcomed into the world of science, a young girl from a poor family made a discovery that would change history forever. Her name was Mary Lenning, and though she was forgotten for generations, her work shaped the field of paleontology as we know it today. But who was she, and why did history try to erase her name? On the rugged shores of Lyme Regis in England, a young girl walked carefully along the craggy cliffs, her keen eyes scanning the ground for something unusual. She was no ordinary child. Mary Lenning was a fossil hunter, though she did not yet know that her discoveries would change the course of science forever. A childhood shaped by the sea, Mary was born in 1799 into a poor family. Her father, Richard Lenning, was a cabinet maker who supplemented his income by collecting and selling fossils, known locally as curiosities. From an early age, Mary accompanied him on these hunts along the Jurassic coast, where erosion constantly revealed new prehistoric secrets buried in the rock. But life was harsh. Her father died when she was just 11, leaving the family in poverty. With no formal education and few options, Mary turned to the one skill she had inherited: fossil hunting. She and her brother, Joseph, combed the beaches, hoping to find specimens valuable enough to sell to tourists and scientists. The discovery that changed everything. One stormy winter in 1811, something extraordinary happened. Joseph discovered what he believed to be a strange skull embedded in the cliffs. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The massive, sharp teeth and elongated shape were eerily reptilian, but it was far too large to be any known creature. Excited by the find, Mary, then just 12 years old, returned day after day, carefully chiseling away at the rock to reveal the rest of the skeleton. With only primitive tools, chisels, hammers, and sheer determination, she spent months excavating a nearly complete skeleton. When she finally uncovered the full creature, it was clear this was no ordinary fossil. The specimen was eventually sold to a collector, and word of the discovery spread. Scientists of the time were baffled. Was it a crocodile, a lizard, or something from a prehistoric world that no one had ever imagined? This was the first complete ichthyosaur fossil ever found, a marine reptile that had lived millions of years ago. A lifetime of discoveries. Mary Lenning's work did not stop there. She continued to explore, unearthing even more groundbreaking finds. In 1823, she discovered the first complete plesiosaur, a long-necked marine reptile that stunned scientists with its strange anatomy. Some experts, including the famous French naturalist Georges Cuvier, even accused her of forging the skeleton because it was so bizarre. But Mary's meticulous records and undeniable skill silenced her critics. She later discovered the first British pterosaur, a flying reptile, and made important observations about fossilized feces coprolites, which helped scientists understand prehistoric diets. Despite her lack of formal education, she taught herself geology and paleontology, piecing together knowledge from the fossils she uncovered. Recognition denied. But despite her contributions, Mary Lenning lived in an era where science was dominated by men. She was excluded from the scientific societies of the time and rarely credited for her work. Wealthy male geologists often purchased her fossils, published papers on them, and received the recognition she deserved. She struggled financially her entire life, even though her discoveries were shaping the field of paleontology. Charles Lyell, one of the most influential geologists of the 19th century, visited her and acknowledged her expertise, but still, she remained on the fringes of the scientific community, a legacy written in stone. In her later years, Mary's contributions were slowly acknowledged. The British Association for the Advancement of Science granted her a small pension in recognition of her work. But it was not until after her death, in 1847, that she truly received the honor she deserved. Today, she is remembered as one of the most important figures in paleontology. In 2010, the Royal Society named her one of the most influential women in science, and her legacy continues to inspire scientists, especially women, in a field that was once closed to her. Mary Lenning's story is one of resilience, intelligence, and unrecognized genius. She did not have wealth, formal education, or status, yet she made discoveries that reshaped our understanding of prehistoric life. Without her, the history of paleontology would be incomplete. Her name may have been overlooked in her time, but today, her contributions are set in stone. Just like the fossils she spent her life uncovering, Mary Lenning may have lived in obscurity, but today, her name is finally being recognized. She paved the way for the study of prehistoric life, proving that determination and passion can overcome even the greatest obstacles. Without her, our understanding of the ancient world would be incomplete. Mary Lenning's story reminds us that History often forgets those who deserve the most recognition, but today, we can make sure her name is never lost again. If you found Mary Lenning's story inspiring, make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible, untold stories from history.